Hello everybody, and welcome back to my video number 4 where I speak about the upcoming Healing Qualia Treatment Protocol for adult child survivors of child psychological abuse related to parental alienation, familial abduction, estrangement and lethal family harm. So this is the area that I've found myself working in after 35 plus years working in mental health and disabilities as firstly a support worker right through now to a mental health practitioner for a number of years on the front line, and I'm also a clinical psychotherapist. My name's Dr. Alyse Price-Tobler, and welcome to my 4th video on the Healing Qualia Treatment Protocol series. And while I mention it, I'll just hold up Healing Qualia because this is the clinical textbook that I've written. So here it is here, and it's actually this big, over 1,000 pages, but I just had it split into 2 because it's a manuscript in this form, and it's just easier to manage. So on the front we have adult child survivors Dawn McCarty. Here on the left, she's an adult child who stands in the adult survivors space. Also the co-organizer of the first adult child survivor conference that we ever put on in the world, with 15 adult children who've stood up and spoken for the first time on that platform. We had our own conference. That was a couple of years ago internationally. All of those videos and interviews are on my YouTube channel. And there's me in the morning, in the very middle, and Andrew Faulkner, who's also an adult child of parental alienation. So there's the 3 of us. We're all friends. A lot of us in the adult community are good mates as we understand each other. And well, that's a little bit about me and about Healing Qualia. So this is going to be disseminated to the mental health practitioners, and also I've had a lot of the adult child survivors already read it, because if Healing Qualia doesn't pass the pub test with the adult child survivors, I can't release it to the world. So having their blessing is very important to me, and I'm very pleased to say I have their blessing. So, and some of the endorsements will be on the back, and others just want to remain anonymous, but they have my heart, and so do the grandparents and the cousins and the siblings of the adult children, adolescent adult children, and some of the younger children too, who are still very much caught up in this lethal family dynamic. Sometimes that's the worst of it, and then the others are sometimes in the mild, moderate, and our hearts and thoughts and prayers are still going out to them. So on that note, I wanted to speak a little bit today about the Healing Qualia rights statement for children that I've written. So I've updated what I think are the rights of the child who are experiencing or have experienced a lot of the terrible things that go on when their parents go through high conflict divorces. So I wanted to just talk about this for a moment and go through it, because I feel it's very, very important that we get this right. And the Healing Qualia rights statement is actually informed excuse me, by principles in the United States, in the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, including identity, family relations, protection from harm, cultural belonging and recovery, and dignity. So it's also informed by my Healing Qualia Treatment Protocol and all of the clinical frameworks that I've designed. So this statement is a clinical and ethical resource. It's not a legal instrument, forensic conclusion, a diagnostic finding, a custody recommendation, or substitute for statutory safeguarding, legal, clinical, child protection, or emergency response processes. So I just want to go through the first one. I believe Every child has the right to love and be loved freely. Every child has the right to feel safe and be with their parents, siblings, grandparents, step-family members, kin, culture, community, and important people in their life. Every child has the right not to be made to feel guilty, afraid, ashamed, disloyal, or responsible for loving someone. Every child has the right not to be placed in the middle of adult conflict or used in one adult's anger, hurt, or grievance against another. Every child has the right not to be used as a messenger, spy, therapist, emotional support person, or go-between. That also includes being another person's regulatory object, which a child regulating an adult and that being their job is absolutely not okay. It is not their job to do that. Every child has the right to ask questions, express feelings, miss people, love more than one person, and change their understanding over time. Every child has the right to be heard without being forced to carry adult decisions. Every child has the right to receive mail, cards, presents, and gifts meant for them and enjoy them without teasing, criticism, shame, or pressure from the adults around them or some of the step children or even siblings who could potentially be enmeshed and weaponized against that child. Every child has the right to healthy food, water, and regular meals without shame, deprivation, or being made to replace what they have eaten. Now that's an interesting one because that came up with some of the adult child survivors that I'd spoken to, because punishment and not being fed was part of the sort of punishment for if they spoke back or they were disloyal, or even if they spoke back to the mother's new boyfriend, they were disrespectful to the new boyfriend or the new step-parent. Punishing them through food was one of the tactics that was used by the alienating parent. And one of the adult child survivors that I spoke to was talking about sneaking food out of packets so that that amount wasn't missed. And I think they were talking about sunflower seeds and eating them in their room. And then they also shared that getting up in the middle of the night to go and look for food because they were so hungry. The mother's new boyfriend, was waiting in the kitchen for them to come in, and then they would jump up out of the dark and scare them half to death so that they would not come back into the kitchen again. So this is what I'm referring to when children have the right to food, water, and regular meals without shame, deprivation, or being made to replace what they've eaten, because that was also, if this adult child was caught, they shared that they had to replace what they'd eaten, which is just mind-boggling, really, to inflict that level of harm on a child. But this is inside the mind of an adult child survivor who's sharing a very important message, a very difficult time in their life, and opening up about it and sharing it with me. She gave me the authority to speak about it as well. So I'm very grateful for that. Every child has the right to enjoy holidays and special time with each parent or family members without harassment, constant interruption, or pressure through phones, computers, and other devices. And I cannot tell you how many of my adult child survivors actually talk about the fact that on holidays their alienating parent is ringing every day. They want messages to be passed to them about what their ex is doing, what the other children are doing, what they're being bought, what they're eating. This is not okay. Every child has the right to enjoy holidays and special time with each parent. Every child also has the right to privacy and not to be tracked or monitored when with the other parent, unless of course there's a genuine safety concern, such as a real risk of abduction, and even then it's questionable. So this is a very difficult topic because a lot of the adolescent children that I work with have trackers on their mobile phones so that the alienating parent can tell where they are, and it's very difficult for the mental health practitioners because if they're coming to see us, a lot of the time they'll know where we are, so there's no privacy in that space. And then it's very contentious because they should know that the child is actually coming to see us, but it's fraught with danger, this space. But that's a topic for another day. Every child has the right to safety, rest, play, education, friendships, privacy, culture, routine, creativity, and ordinary childhood activities whenever it's possible. So this is really important, especially when we're talking about culture, because some of the adult children that I speak to have had their culture taken off them. So I work a lot within the Indigenous population in Australia, and Aboriginality is not allowed to be spoken about sometimes. I also work with a lot of kids in foster care. So there's a lot of alienation going on in foster care, let me tell you, but that's a topic for another day as well. And a lot of the children in foster care are not allowed to talk about their heritage or culture, whereas others are freely allowed to do that. But that's a very contentious topic as well. Every child has the right to know where safe and lawful their name, identity, parentage, family story, medical history, and kinship and belonging. And I say this particularly for Dawn McCarty, who's on the front of my book, who, when she was abducted out of the stairwell at her home when she was living with her father, so she was abducted out of the stairwell with her mother and the mother's new partner when she was 4, while the babysitter was actually looking after her. Can you imagine what the babysitter was thinking when a child on her watch was actually taken? And Dawn did not see her father for 44 years after that. So she also had her name changed, and this is just, she was also illegally adopted by her stepfather, so without her father's permission. So here we are in an area of illegal adoption, name change. So this is where I talk about alienated children who've also been abducted, who've had their names changed, their identity, their family story. She didn't know her medical history on her father's side. So anything that happens with her that's linked down into her medical history, she just couldn't answer those questions with the doctors. So, but good ending, in a way. She reunited with her father after 44 years and had 2 years with him. But this is some of the dreadful behaviours that the adult children have been exposed to, which Healing Qualia talks about. So every child has the right to protection from concealment, forced relocation, hidden records, and the unfair cutting off of safe family relationships. Every child has the right to be seen as a whole person with thoughts, feelings, culture, needs, and dignity, not as a bargaining tool, a side taker, or an extension of another person. Every child has the right to recovery in an environment that supports dignity, self-respect, psychological safety, and hope. Every child has the right to live in a home where the adults around them are safe, appropriate, and protective, and where no new parent, unfamiliar adult, step-sibling, child of a new adult entering the family system, or a household member is given unchecked access to them at the expense of their safety, comfort, privacy, or well-being. Every child has the right to be heard about safety concerns involving new adults or other children, including acts of lethal harm, violence, intimidation, coercion, or predatory behaviour, and the right never to see lethal harm aimed at their targeted parent or anyone else, and to be taken seriously at all times when they speak up. Every child has the right never to be unlawfully adopted, and every child has the right to choose a career for themselves. Now, this is a really big topic because some of the children that I work with, adult children who I work with, who've experienced parental alienation, but they're also children of cults because I work with adult children who are no longer in cults. One of the adult children that I speak to, who was born into a cult and has now removed himself out of that, he asked me if I could please add the fact that he is allowed to choose his own destiny and also what he wants to do for a career. And just because he's born into something does not mean that he necessarily needs to do it. So this area of children who have been alienated, who have also potentially been abducted into different countries and are involved or have previously been involved in a cult. Some of them are born into it. This is an extremely serious area to work in, and I have the privilege of working with some of these adult child survivors, and it's very, very interesting because a lot of the coercive techniques that they have had used on them by their parent are very much similar, so similar if not the same as the ones that alienating parents use with the children in their families as well, who are also experiencing alienation. So the cult topic is it's a very hot topic, and it's not something that I'll be talking about anymore today. So on that note, that's the Healing Qualia rights statement for the children. And like I said, it's informed by other documents that are already out there that I've already explained. But yeah, so I just wanted to do that. And on the next video, I'll be talking about the Healing Qualia rights statement for the adult survivors, which is next in the video. All right, thank you very much for watching, and I really appreciate if you've stayed all the way to the end and have listened to me. Thank you very much. And just my message as always, we want peace in the world. This is not a gender argument. This is a child abuse topic. This is a child abuse argument. We need to be focusing on the children, and the more the fighting goes on, and it's not just fighting against parents fighting each other, it's also the mental health professionals are fighting in this space too. We need to put down the swords. We need to focus on the children. That's what we need to do. It's not about ego. It just needs to be about the children now. We all need to band together and solve this. And if my other thought is that if I can get Healing Qualia out to the mental health practitioners, the adult children will be the ones who can learn, do the psychoeducation, have the treatment, and then they won't be passing on the patterns down to the children and the generations that are coming. That's what my hope is for Healing Qualia. So I've spent 10 years thinking about it, designing it, doing the degrees that I needed prior to actually writing the book, and just getting all the ducks in a row, and it's called the Healing Qualia Treatment Protocol. So hopefully it's going to do what we need it to do. It'll be published on July 25th, and we'll just send a lot of love and light with it so it gets to where it needs to be. And in the meantime, go gently, everybody, and I'll go and prepare for the next video that I'm going to make. Thank you very much for listening. I appreciate it. Okay, bye for now.